motherfucking trailer.
Would you like to see Gorosaurus versus Man, the solo trilogy from Toho? No, I would not, because nobody gives a shit about those two monsters. Let's be real, honestly. With the exception of a handful of Toho monsters, a lot of them really suck.
To stop the motherfucking lie.
Look at this guy's got glasses. Oh, a sophisticated zombie.
I heard Rodan's in here. I don't know if I don't know if I missed him.
I missed Rodan. On top of the volcano, I missed Rodan. Flying over the water, I missed Rodan. He's been confirmed, established 2014, right here on E.T.N motherfucking N.
I have only ever loved one woman. And it ain't you, bitch. Poof. Bye-bye. Have a nice trip. See you next fall, because winter's coming.
I figured, I thought it was pretty good. I liked it. I enjoyed it. And number one is Godzilla. Godzilla?
Motherfucking trailer.
Okay, how about now? Are we working now? It's you know what it is. You know what it is. All right. So I recently did. My beard looks heavier because I haven't trimmed it yet. I'm off tomorrow, so I won't do my grooming until tomorrow. You know what I mean? That way when I go back to work, it looks fresh. If I do it today, I'll grow about another ½ inch before Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? So I got to be strategic about when I trim and shave and do all that good stuff. All right. Yeah, sorry about that. How's this sound? I haven't had time. All right, so I reinstalled Windows because, as you guys know, my computer's getting old, starting to show its age. And my editing software was not working, which is why I haven't done any videos. I haven't been able to edit. Got it working now, finally. But you know what happens when you reset Windows or reinstall Windows? Everything goes back to normal. All your settings are deleted. Shit over. So that's what we had to do. In fact, I'm surprised this signed on so smooth. Choppy. Sounds great. So then Shin Venom's. Now the blotchy. Someone says it sound good. Someone says it sound blotchy. Audio's cutting. All right, we're gonna test it right here. How's that? Okay, you're gonna hear me twice. I gotta hear. All right, we're gonna test it right here. How's that? Okay, you're gonna hear me twice. I gotta hear. All right, we're gonna test it right here. How's that? Okay, you're gonna hear me twice. I gotta hear. All right, we're gonna test it right here. How's that? Okay, you're gonna hear me twice. I gotta hear. All right, we're gonna test it right here. How's that? Test, test, test. Okay, you're gonna hear me twice. I gotta hear. All right, we're gonna test it right here. How's that? Test, test, test. Gonna hear me twice. I gotta hear. All right, we're gonna test it right here. Test, test, test. Test, test, test. Test, test, test. Mm-mm. Testing, testing. There we go. All right. Testing, testing. I see the audio thing coming up, but I'm just... Still nothing? Testing, testing. There we go. All right. Testing, testing. All right, I think we got it now. All right, how's that, guys? Loud and clear? Sounds good? All right. I see the audio thing coming up, but I'm just... All right, there we go. All right, we're good. Let me mute myself over here. All right, sorry about that little delay. Me and the mic were about to... It was about to go down. So Joey's going to be coming on in a few minutes, and you know what that means.
It is time to finish the fight.
You know how me and Joey get when we talk about the DCEU.
It is time to finish the fight.
Yeah. Why? Is the audio still sounding shit? Somebody just said, what's up with my audio? All right. Joey, are you ready? Yeah, it's the same mic I've been using. All parks have delays. Remember when they opened Disneyland in Orlando? Nothing worked. Yeah. Well, the thing of it is, like I said, I had to reinstall Windows, so that sucked. I think my stream settings are screwed too, because I think there's a longer delay between me and you guys. I don't know. We're gonna find out how prepared he is. I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him the link. Whoops, I almost lost myself here. I'm gonna get him the link now, and he's gonna join. What the? Oh, there we go. And then we'll, we'll see just how prepared he is. All right, Joey, I'm sending you the link, man. And we'll get this conversation started. This should be interesting because Joey is a Monsterverse fan about as much as he is a DCEU fan. So it should be interesting to see what he thinks about all this. You know what I mean? So let's see. I'll wait for him to get in here. Open that window. All right. He should be getting in here. So, oh, why is my camera? Oh, I got to switch to me. I got to use the meme cam tonight, guys. So there'll be no meme cam. So we're going to switch to this real quick, and we're going to, what we're going to do here. We're actually going to deactivate this. All right, don't worry. I'm here. All right. Where's my friend here? Did he just... Oh, God, he needs a meeting ID? Why does it always ask for the meeting ID? 503... I don't understand, Joey. You should be able to just click the link and come right in. But either way, I'll do this too. So try that too. Oops, I don't know what the fuck that is. Never mind that message, Joey. All right. We'll wait for Joey to get in here, and then we'll get started. In the meantime, have you watched Shang-Chi yet, Rob? No, not yet. I have not watched it yet. Oh, that's a little too up front. My mic's going to be a little bit, like, right up in there, but... All right. All right, he's here. Joey is here. We'll switch to the screen in a minute. Big J.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, man, I can hear you loud and clear, bro.
Awesome, man. What's going on?
Look at you. It's nice and sunny out there. Look at all that.
I know. It's nice out here. Well, it's still a little hot, but just changing the atmosphere. I'm using my iPad, so that's why I couldn't use the messenger right away, because I had to copy and paste the Zoom app on here.
First of all, guys, let's give a round of applause to Joey for being prepared. Freeze frame. It still didn't upgrade to fiber optics, huh?
No, I don't know what I'm on right now.
All right. So tonight's
I know
topic.
I have better Wi-Fi. I just...
Yeah, you got to go with the when you stream. You got to go with the direct connect. Should be pretty good. All right. So tonight's topic, Joey. I'm interested to see what you have to say because you're a fan of both. You're a fan of the Monsterverse and you're a fan of DCEU. So
and movies, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So now, just so we can kind of lay down the groundwork here, all right. We're gonna take movie and the overall success of these universes into account. We're not really gonna harp too much on the amount of money these movies have made because we all know that the amount of money you make doesn't necessarily equate to success. We always use the Transformers Bayformers for that example because those movies made tons of money, but out of all of Michael Bay's Transformers movies, only 2 of them were really any good. So, but they all made a buttload of money. So, yeah. So we're gonna, not to say that it won't be considered, but it's not gonna weigh heavy. So I'm going to let you kick this off, and I want you to tell me of both universes, when you take into consideration the characters in these universes, obviously Godzilla and his whole crew, and then of course the Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman's of the world, and their weight on culture, on entertainment culture. So what is your take? What do you think about these 2 universes?
Okay.
Which one do you think overall has been more of a success?
Okay, well, I'm taking the DCEU universe.
Okay.
I know you. I figured you were gonna take the Monsterverse, so I kind of prepared for that. But I did pick the right one because I picked the better one. Even though I am a fan of Godzilla, but I think we have two different universes. We have, and they've been around longer than I have, longer than you have, and they'll continue to be here when we're gone. And so we have Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and all those people. I think the DCEU is better because it's more of, when you talk about universes, we're talking about something that is connected through a strand, something, because let's take Marvel, for example. There's always a single story throughout the entire MCU, throughout the Infinity Saga. And I think that's what separates a universe between a franchise of movies. Because DCEU is more of a universe because it all started off with Man of Steel, right? And we didn't even know we were going to get anything beyond Man of Steel. We had some seeds planted in there with the Wayne satellite and the Lex Luthor, mention of his tower and all that. So we knew that. So we didn't know what we had. It was kind of grounded. Let me see. Yeah. It took the Superman has been done before, just like all these other characters have done before. But this is the start. It was the start of the new universe. And so we had this Superman character taken that was more set in a more grounded time. It's more of a Superman that kind of fit more realistically than we have before. And I know a lot of people may have not liked that because he was more of a more depressed looking Superman. But I think realistically, we're looking at a Superman that how would he would be in the world today. Look at the world we've been in the past 2 or 3 years of everything going on. Do you think that one simple icon, like a figure like Superman, would be able to, help like guide people towards something better? And because there's so much going on and there's so many different ways, because this world right now we're living in is between, if I'm not right, then you're wrong. And we have to think a way. If you don't think like how I think, then you're right or you're wrong. And so it's, my work is calling me, but I'll answer him later.
Like, can you come in?
Yeah. No, so we started off with the Man of Steel, and so basically it was a different take of Superman. Not a lot of people liked it, but I liked it because of how grounded it was, and I think it was overall well received. It was a good movie. It was solid. It wasn't, I think it was one of the better Superman movies. I think Superman 2, the Christopher Reeves one, was better. And so what that fed into, you had the seeds planted, and we didn't even know. We kind of knew what was going to happen then, because Batman versus Superman was coming out, and they kind of like they spilled the beans. They kind of like blew their load with that one, because then you added Superman. You knew Aquaman was going to be in there. You knew Batman was in there, and Wonder Woman and the Flash. And the way that movie was set up, it may not have been for everyone. And like, I think having all those characters like show up on a disk drive was kind of dumb. I do admit that, but overall, I think that movie was good. And from there, the universe is kind of like, you got the cherry pick stuff. So what I'm doing is I'm doing Man of Steel. It's part of it. And then Batman versus Superman. Then you have Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and you can add Shazam there. But then I go to the Zack Snyder Justice League, because I think that's more true into the original plan. So that's where it gets kind of tricky from my end, because you have, like, for example, the first Justice League by Joss Whedon, then you have the actual Snyder Cut version, and then you have Suicide Squad and the Suicide Squad. And so we'll get into a little bit more of that later, but I think between those three movies, Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, and then Zack Snyder's Justice League movie, you do have at least 15 hours of a good saga in there that's very, very, very good. It connects well, and there's a story in there that started from the beginning, and you can watch. What am I trying to say here? My work is calling me again. I'll answer that later. I'll come back, because they're gonna have me come to work tomorrow. But so I think there were seeds that were planted in the first Man of Steel movie, and then you had Batman versus Superman, where it does suffer a little bit, because we don't have that setup of who Batman is.
Yeah, you have a little bit of his history, but not much. It kind of works
as a double-edged sword, because but I think most people going into that movie already knew who Batman was.
Yep.
We were just coming off the Christopher Nolan trilogy, so it's like to have a whole new set of origin story when we know that story already. So it's like the audience isn't dumb; they know who Batman is, and now we established a new Superman. So why not just put them all in together? But that movie suffers is at the end they killed off Superman too early. But after seeing the Snyder Cut version, I'm okay with it. It was going to happen eventually, and it does kind of work, because that's a 4-hour movie, and we still don't get a lot of Superman until the very end.
Right.
And it's kind of, you have to see these teams, but I just think it's a little bit better. But I'm more ready to counter with the Monsterverse than I was with the DCEU. So.
All right. Well, okay. So then, what do you think? What do you think about, before I give my expert opinion that is 100% right? So take me down to Monsterverse. Where do you think the Monsterverse falls short when comparing it to the DCEU, and why it wouldn't be better?
Well, because what I was trying to say is that in the Snyder or the DCEU, you have a singular point where something that carries over through each film. With the Monsterverse, you don't really get that. Sure, you get Godzilla, sure you get Kong, and I guess you can point towards Monarch, saying, hey, Monarch was here at the beginning, and then we still get Monarch at the end. But there's not a single character that lasts throughout the entire saga. You killed off. You go to the Godzilla 2014. You have Sarazawa, then he's there, and he's with I forget the character's name, and she was in there, and he was a good character, and he's your guy. He's your establishing. He knows most about Godzilla, so when you come back to him, he's the guy you go to.
Right.
And then you bring him towards this. Then after that comes Kong Skull Island, and you know that the movie takes place before, so you're not gonna have Sarazawa then, but you do have the Monarch. So I'm like, oh, I know what that is because that's Monarch. So yeah, you still have that guy's connection, but then you go into Godzilla versus King of the Monsters, and then you kill off that character. So you cut off that point that connects this movie towards that movie, other than Godzilla. Everyone else in King of the Monsters has no relation to what happened in 2014. You might have Brooks, who was there back in the 70s, that connects. But other than that, you don't really have any connection towards the first movie. Then you got Godzilla versus Kong, where you have is the name Monarch, and no one from Monarch is someone that you recognize from the beginning of the journey all the way to the end. So in a journey, you have to start with a character that lasts throughout the entire thing. And so it connects and it brings you along. I was like, he's the person that you're riding along with throughout the entire journey. And we don't really get that with the Monsterverse. Like, I could watch Godzilla versus Kong and not know anything about what happened about Dr. Sarazawa at all, because he's not really an important character anymore. Sure, you have Ren Sarazawa, but they don't bring up at the point of who he is, so I can watch and say, okay, he's just a Japanese guy replacing the other Japanese guy.
He's just a Japanese guy.
Yeah, he's like he's brought in there to say Godzilla in that Japanese accent.
Oh,
that's why
man.
he's here. But you don't have that person you're riding along with the entire time. Whereas Man of Steel, you're with Lois Lane the entire time. She's important. You're Superman the entire time. He's the key. Lois Lane's the key. You can go out throughout all the movies and he'd still linger in the background about how important Superman is, how important Lois Lane is. From Godzilla versus Kong, you don't get, or like Monsterverse, you don't have that character that you're along with the entire time.
All right. So you're saying that the DCEU is more connected through characters, and where the Monsterverse kind of breaks up and kind of in the middle, where I guess like King of the Monsters, your last two remaining characters from 2014 die in Sarazawa and Sally Hawkins' character, forget her name. So here's why I think the Monsterverse is a bigger success. The Monsterverse, I think at this point, has exceeded its expectations. In other words, nobody really expected it to be as good as it's gotten. And I think it's gotten better from the beginning. Now, obviously, King of the Monsters was a hiccup, but overall, their movies and even their lore, when you look at the comics, when you look at the books, have had a pretty good, with the exception of the recent novelization, where things kind of went off the wire. I don't know if you read the Godzilla vs. Kong novelization, but somehow Jonah from King of the Monsters, instead of ending up with one King Ghidorah head, ended up with two. So I don't know how the hell he got the second one.
Yeah. I remember I have the audio bug. I just haven't listened to it.
Yeah, so that's pretty twisted. So here's my thing. The reason I think, because I want to be fair, and I want to say that the DCEU should be more successful than the Monsterverse. But I think the reason this is a debate now, and I think the reason you can have this argument, is because the Monsterverse has exceeded expectations where the DCEU has not met its expectations. For all the good, and look, there's some DCEU movies I absolutely love. Obviously, I always mention Wonder Woman. Most recently, the Suicide Squad, James Gunn's Suicide Squad, was absolutely phenomenal. I loved it. Aquaman was a ton of fun. You know what I mean? Obviously, I love Man of Steel. I would have loved to have seen a solo Affleck Batman movie, but unfortunately, we didn't get that. But there's so many things wrong with the DCEU that brings it down, that it kind of evens the playing field. And I really started thinking about this when Godzilla vs. Kong was starting to ramp up its marketing towards its release. And then we were also getting the Snyder Cut release. And just the sheer hype behind Godzilla vs. Kong in comparison to the Snyder Cut was pretty significant to show where interest was. You know what I mean? And even now, I don't know how. I know this was a couple of articles posted this. You never know if this stuff is true because a lot of these streaming services do not give their numbers, but there have been some conversations about Godzilla vs. Kong still being the number one viewed multi-release movie on the HBO Max streaming service, which is a pretty big deal when you consider all the DC content on there. So the other thing too is, while the DCU has some fabulous movies, I'm still very much turned off about the focus on Batman, even though he wasn't really the focus. But just the fact that they brought him into the universe at the time they did kind of took away from Superman. I would have loved to have seen a Superman sequel, even the Superman trilogy. For all the love I have for Wonder Woman, she was and even in Batman versus Superman, I mean, her sequence stole the movie in my opinion. But with that said, she still was shoehorned into the universe. The Flash has not even gotten his movie yet. And now, just to kind of make The Flash enticing for audiences, what are they doing? They're throwing in Batman, and they're throwing in Michael Keaton. So they're going for the nostalgia trip.
Yeah, but...
But come on, man. I mean, you can't argue that. That's true.
No,
and I love The Flash.
No, I'm arguing now about that. But that's been in the works for a while. And when they said they're bringing Keaton back, that's when Marvel said, hey, let's call it Toby. Let's call Andrew real quick. Let's get them involved. So I just want to point that out. That what they're doing over there with the Flash is way before what Spider-Man is doing right now.
Right, and
I think that's kind of funny.
Yeah, but the thing of it is that I'll put it to you like this: Spider-Man doesn't need Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield to have a good movie. The Flash needs Batman to have a good movie. I think so. Not only because let's just be honest here. While DCU has some iconic characters that far exceed Marvel characters, the Flash cannot touch Spider-Man, no matter what. So
right, no, I mean, no.
He's going to bring more seats. He's going to bring more butts to the seats, with or without Toby or Andrew. My point is that the Flash and Ezra Miller, in particular, were not exactly endeared by audiences. In fact, I found the Flash to be a little bit better after watching the Snyder Cut. The character I think that stood out for me most in the Snyder Cut was Cyborg. In fact, to the point that I actually was like, damn, I would love to see a Cyborg movie now. But we're never going to get that. So it's like the Snyder Cut, even though the Snyder Cut was 4 hours and it put in a lot of stuff, it still wasn't that good. You know, we talk about, shoehorning in characters. You shoehorn in the Martian Manhunter at the end. He turns out to be the Colonel, who has been there all along, and now suddenly he's a Martian Manhunter. It's like, where was that? You know what I mean? I feel like the DCU is too much of a bad roller coaster ride, where it's like you get these great highs, and then you get this crazy dip that just makes you want to vomit when you get to the bottom. So, in the Monsterverse, however, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, if you want to take the human characters and talk about how some of them get cut off towards the end of the Monsterverse, or at least up to this point in the Monsterverse, really, I personally don't think that is a great argument, simply because, let's face it, man, everybody's going there to see Godzilla. As long as Godzilla is a consistent character from the first movie to the next movie and the next movie, then that is some sort of cohesion, even though the human story elements are lacking. And I think I've always made the argument that I think kaiju movies are very hard to do, because developing a movie without enough human interaction makes it very tough to watch the monsters for a long period of time. But if you harp too heavily on the humans, then you get a lot of people complaining that there's not enough monster action. It's hard to reach that balance. I think Wingard did a good job with it. The story had to suffer for that. The story was just there to kind of get these two together at the end and fight. But I think overall, in terms of what you expect from DC and what you expect from a kaiju universe, I think that they shouldn't even be in the same ballpark. Like, it shouldn't even be a discussion we're having. DCEU should far exceed the kaiju universe, but they haven't. I don't think they have. And I think to some extent, I think the Monsterverse is better because they have, again, the Suicide Squad was a great movie. So up until the Suicide
What did you describe the Suicide Squad earlier? You said it was what?
I said it was fantastic.
Yeah.
The recent one, the one with the one directed by James Gunn.
Suicide. Yeah. You said it was fantastic. It was excellent. How would you describe? Would you describe any of the Monsterverse movies as fantastic or excellent, or have they gotten progressively better, or have they just been progressively worse? I think they've gotten worse by each movie.
No, that's done. No. I disagree. I think they've changed tone. They've changed tone, but I don't think that necessarily means they've gotten progressively worse. I mean, if you want to take by comparison, I mean, all right, fine. You could say that DCU has had more movies made, but I mean, considering what you're getting in the Monsterverse, they've only had one hiccup, and even that hiccup, you can ask any Monster fan, and a good portion of them, while some of them dislike King of the Monsters very much, there's just as many people who love it. So, but I think the tone is what's changed, and I guess to be fair, it's a matter of objectivity. If you like the tone of the first movie, then yeah, maybe you don't. Maybe you do think they've gotten worse because you wanted to stick, and I get it because I wanted to stick with that tone too. But seeing these movies for so long, I know that the tone can change like the weather. You know what I mean? Right. You get a movie like Godzilla 1954 and Godzilla Returns, Shin Gojira, right? And Godzilla 2014, very serious in tone, very, very good, solid movies delivering on Godzilla. And then you get the more action-packed, cheesy movies like Godzilla vs. Monster Zero or Godzilla vs. Megalon and Godzilla King of the Monsters. You know what I mean? So if you're just looking for one tone then yeah, I could definitely see where you're coming from. But if you're someone like me, and not every Monster fan's like me, I know that, where you can kind of adjust to how they changed because they've changed so much. You know, even the Showa era, when compared to the Heisei era, the Heisei era takes itself a little bit more seriously, even though it's just as cheesy at times. But the Showa era, when it gets to that cheesy place, kind of runs with it and kind of knows it's being cheesy. I mean, when you see Godzilla fighting, a monster in some of the 1970s Godzilla movies, and he's bobbing and weaving like Muhammad Ali, obviously they knew that there's no one's going to take this seriously, so let's have fun with it. Yeah. So, but I mean, if you think, you got Wonder Woman 84, Aquaman, the recent Suicide Squad movie, those three, I know there's another, Shazam. All right, we didn't even talk about Shazam. Shazam is very good. So those are four movies. Those are four movies that pop into my head immediately that I would say are definitely standout movies for the DCEU. Okay. But when you consider the characters in the DC, when you consider the amount of opportunities they've had, I don't think that's enough to warrant a successful universe. That's just my opinion.
So how would you rank the four Monsterverse movies?
I would definitely, I'm still very partial to 2014 because of, I think maybe it gets an edge always because it's the first one ever and they did such a good job with it. And it was serious enough in tone. The human story kind of brought it down a little bit, but the weight of the monsters and the pure scale made it felt like it was something more serious. So I would still put that number one. I'd probably put Godzilla vs. Kong as number 2, Skull Island number 3, and then King of the Monsters as number 4. That's how I would rank them. And then for DC, those four movies I'm talking about, I'd probably still have Wonder Woman at number 1, The Suicide Squad at number 2, Shazam at number 3, and then Aquaman at number 4. If I'm taking the 4 that I particularly thought were standout.
Right.
Now, obviously, in terms of money, DCU it's
Yeah,
obviously
no, I mean
more.
money. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, they've obviously done
Uh-huh.
you know, far and above the amount, you know, of money. Even those 4 movies combined, taking them up against
Right.
the 4 movies in the Monsterverse, they've
Uh-huh.
exceeded. But you know, then the other thing that disappoints me too is you watch Wonder Woman 84, and it was such a bad drop off.
It
You
was
know, like,
yeah.
and after King of the Monsters, you know, a lot of us were questioning whether or not the Monsterverse could recover from such a bad outing, you know, because they only have so many opportunities to gain an audience. And then you got Godzilla versus Kong comes out and makes a big recovery. And yeah, you could credit that to Kong, but you know, he was already established as part of the Monsterverse. We knew that was going to happen back in the day. So I feel like a slight dip in the Monsterverse, and then this last installment really took it to another level, where the DCEU sometimes has these platinum movies like a Wonder Woman, and then you get Wonder Woman 84, which was just far.
It was not good, but lately, what they have been doing, I think they recognized, DC has recognized their mistakes. They saw the regular Suicide Squad, and then they reimagined it, but kind of kept the same lore with the Suicide Squad, and you still can say that's part of this universe with Godzilla versus Kong. That could be its own standalone movie, because you know, like, Kong is from Skull Island. You know that Godzilla's from the ocean. You know that the casual, general audience will see that. So I could watch that movie alone and still know that I wouldn't even have to know that's part of the universe. And then we can talk about shoehorning characters in, and Toho is very selective with who can use their properties and whatnot. And so they get permission to use their big 5, and we get them 4 out of the 5 are in one movie, and they're all just like, it's all jumbled in, so we don't really get enough time with Mothra or Rodan. We don't these
I
characters,
agree with that.
and then yeah,
I agree with that.
we don't know what happens with.
No, go ahead.
No, okay, yeah. So you have the big bad, with Ghidorah. We only get to see him in once, and it was very good with them. So they kind of like, just like Batman versus Superman, they kind of like blew it, throwing all those characters in at once. Godzilla, the Monsterverse, did the exact same thing.
Yeah.
At least in the next film, you have a little bit of payoff, because you do get the return of Superman, even though it was too soon, too compact. With Godzilla versus Kong, I don't feel any connection to any other of the movies. The direct connection from Godzilla versus or King of the Monsters and Godzilla versus Kong, I don't feel that direct correlation between those two.
Well, I think I want to go back to something you were saying about Godzilla versus Kong could be a standalone movie. I don't think that's accurate, because I think if someone went into that movie without watching the prior 3, they would be questioning the Hollow Earth. They would be questioning the Ghidorah skull. Where did it come from? So I do think there are connections there that make it a little bit difficult to make it a standalone movie. Like, why are these two fighting? That lore has been established. Why is Kong in a dome, and why is it like raining outside and the weather's so bad? There is,
Okay, but you're saying that, but like, I didn't even know that at the beginning. Why is it in the dome? But then it's explained later. Like, I feel you have the Monsterverse has all these other supplemental, comics that you have to read in order to understand what's happening between movies. With the DCU, you don't really need that, because you know there's hints of what has happened before that they put in those movies.
Right, but you can make the same argument about Batman just popping up out of nowhere in Batman versus Superman, and then he's looking at the suit in the Batcave, and that one picture he saw when right before the Senate blew up, and he had that picture where it says "You let your family die" or whatever. I think, who was it that sent it to him? Lex Luthor. We all know that that's in regards to like Robin. But I mean, unless you're a hardcore comic fan, right? Same thing with the Monsterverse with their comics. You're not really gonna know what the hell they're talking about, So you can make an argument.
It could be either interpreted as Robin, or he let his parents die. You don't know.
Right, you do, but that's the whole point. That's the whole point. You don't know. So I think you can make the argument about both of them with that in that respect, you know, and it's those are things that are for like the hardcore fans, but general audiences that don't read the comics on both ends, whether it's the Monsterverse comics or DC comics, wouldn't really get that, you know what I mean? So I think that kind of cancels each other out because they both do the same thing. You know, there were a lot of Easter eggs in King of the Monsters that no general audience fans had any clue about, you know?
Right.
You know, the Mothra twins, right? The two girls were kind of like Easter egg Mothra twins. You know, a lot of the music even, you know, we loved it. We all knew that music and it was great. But a lot of people were like, well, I mean, I'm sure a lot of general audiences liked it, but they didn't, I'm sure a lot of them didn't know it was from like a lot of the original monster Godzilla movies from Toho. So, but I just think in the core thing of things, I just think if I was to sit back, in my opinion, again, and you can call me biased, that's fine. But if I'm really going to genuinely assess both universes, I just think that the Monsterverse has exceeded their expectations. And I just think that DCEU has failed to meet theirs. And to me, exceeding expectations is an overall success story to me versus underperforming or underachieving, which I consider to be a failure. And that's why I think overall that the Monsterverse is a more successful universe than the DCEU. That's like my take.
But yeah, true. I mean, I agree with that. But like when Godzilla King of Monsters was happening, Godzilla versus Kong was already in the works. It wasn't let's see how it does and see. It's like they're already putting money to it no matter what. So they really, had no choice with it. So we don't know if we would have ever gotten that when that was already planned, from over here, from point B. It's been planned since probably 2015, 2016. And yes, Godzilla vs. Kong was very successful, but I mean, how much of that was people being locked in their houses for an entire year? Then things are starting to open up, and they released a very good trailer that people have been waiting for. And this movie has been done it was already finished for over a year. And with the Snyder Cut, as far as that, that marketing between the Snyder Cut one, it's kind of hard because not that many people know about. We just saw, the Justice League, like a year ago. What is this? They don't know what it is. It's coming to a streaming service only, at least, so that's as far as that goes.
Did you think the Snyder Cut was good?
Yes.
Come on, man.
I did, yeah. I think it was a chance to really flesh out some of the characters. Like you said, Cyborg was really good.
Cyborg was really good.
Yeah, so...
but I think that was the only thing good about the movie. It was way too long. I mean, no, don't get me wrong. Like Cyborg, and when Superman finally showed up is when I got excited. But like all the other stuff, you know what I mean? Like I don't know. Like for example, even though it was 4 hours, there was still stuff in that movie that could have cut. Like the opening scene when they go back and flash back to Superman getting killed. And like you could hear his scream across the earth, and that sequence is like 5 minutes, and it's like why can't we just do one big scream and then just get to the next one? And then the end credits. Oh my god, the end credits. I mean, I get it. We're seeing where Snyder was going. But I don't know. I felt like it was all over the place. Like I said, with the Martian Manhunter, the ending, it clearly was a better movie than the Justice League. But I don't think it was. I don't think it was nearly as good as people hoped or that people made it out to be. But yeah, Cyborg was great. I mean, that was one of the saving graces of the movie. Slow motion. Oh my god, some of the music. That one scene where Jesus Christ, I remember talking about this when I first reviewed the movie. That one scene where Aquaman goes back into the water and then the ladies break out and Aquaman, and it's like, oh Jesus.
That part was like, it wasn't too much.
Yeah, it's a little cringy. I'm like, what are you thinking there?
Bro.
Like, What is Snyder is sometimes he over art gets a little bit over arty, a little bit too artistic, like just rein it in a little bit. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, look, I figured you go with DCU, and I get that. I just I just think like I said, my basic viewing is expectations, and DCU had a lot of expectations. I think overall, even though they've had some dimes out there, some diamond movies, I think they've fallen short in their expectations, and I just think that the Monsterverse has succeeded. It's for the most part, I think it's gotten better, even though the tone has shifted, but it's become more appealing to general audiences, and that's kind of what it needs to be. For all the problems with Godzilla versus Kong, and there are problems. I mean, that story is very bare bone. Following Kong and going to visually it was beautiful. The Hollow Earth was a beautiful sight to see. But there are, like when they first enter the Hollow Earth, it looks like they're going through a time warp. But when they exit, it's just a big ass tunnel that was created by Godzilla. I mean, it's ridiculous. Yeah. It's ridiculous. But once you get these two iconic characters mashing, people don't care. That's what they want to see. And I think in Godzilla vs. Kong, Wingard gave you what you wanted, for better or for worse. And I think that for the DCEU, you get what you want sometimes, and sometimes you get over exposition, and sometimes you get movies that are it can get a little too dark sometimes. I do like the darker tone, but sometimes it's like, a little bit of color in there wouldn't hurt. Snyder, I think James Gunn did a great job with that in the Suicide Squad. It's a crazy ass story. I mean, that's what made the Suicide Squad so good. It's just so out there. Like that one scene where Jesus Christ, I forget their character names, but Idris Elba and John Cena, Peacemaker, Bloodsport and Peacemaker. So they're kind of competing in the jungle, killing people, and then you find out they're all good guys. I was like, oh no, my fucking brain dropped. I was like, oh, that was so well written. That was so good, man. I love that part. But I don't know. Let's see what chat thinks. What do you guys think? I mean, I know there's some DC fans in there. Somebody said, "Oh, I think DC made more money," but that doesn't mean anything. We kind of established that at the beginning of this conversation. It doesn't matter which made the more money, because we always go back to the Transformers argument, right? So more money doesn't equate high quality. Yeah, about those end credits. Yeah. Let's see here. Godzilla vs. Kong needed 15 more minutes to add a few transition scenes to fill those blanks that would have helped a little. Not only that, the whole thing about him pouring alcohol into the computer frame was kind of stupid. I will admit that. They would have just been better off not doing that and just making Kong find a way to get out of his situation. They would have just been better doing that. Why do the superhero costumes all have to be black or darker tone? Well, yeah, I mean, we all know Batman has always had that. Superman wore his black suit. That's from the comic.
I'm talking about Aquaman's gold suit.
I thought that was a good job making that look the way it looked. I got to be honest. I thought when I saw Aquaman,
Shazam in big old red and white, cape or
when I saw the Aquaman movie and he came out with that armor, because that was the first thing I thought to myself: A, are they going to do that? And B, how are they going to make it look good? And I was surprised they pulled it off. So Force Awakens made more money. Well, I know. A lot of the Star Wars movies made more money. That doesn't, again, obviously doesn't make them good. I was pointing out earlier how the audience scores have gone up with each Monsterverse movie on Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, if that's accurate, then yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I think what did King of the Monsters? I mean, I don't put a lot of weight into Rotten Tomatoes, so I know some of you guys do. I don't really put weight on that, but I do recall, like, I would say King of the Monsters is probably the most polarizing movie, because you hear a lot of people say a lot of great things about it, and you hear a lot of people shit on it like it's the worst thing since sliced bread. So I was a huge DC fan before I even knew about Marvel and Godzilla, and the DCU, with a few exceptions, has been such a big disappointment. It feels so mismanaged. Well, that's kind of true. We all know what happened with Zack, and shoehorning Joss Whedon into it, and letting Patty Jenkins direct the first Wonder Woman but write the second one was a huge mistake. Let her direct. Let somebody else write the story. Monsterverse definitely exceeded DCEU. Only thing I didn't like was how the Hollow Earth was a portal and not a tunnel entrance like what Kong Skull Island mentioned. Well, yeah, that's kind of where they screwed up a little bit in that movie, because when they first enter the Hollow Earth, it looks like a portal. And then when they leave later, they leave through basically a tunnel created by Godzilla. So with the character DCU has, this shouldn't even be a conversation. They have no clue. Monsterverse did a better job with monsters that don't talk. Yeah, I mean, that's my argument. When you consider the roster in the DCU, it shouldn't be a conversation. It should basically be a conversation of what's better, the Marvel Cinematic Universe or DCEU, not Marvel standing alone on top by itself and then DCU competing with the Monsterverse, which is essentially how it is right now. I mean, to me, in my opinion, in cinema right now, your top 3 universe movies are settings are the MCU, the DCEU, and the Monsterverse. I don't think that anybody would debate that, unless you're a Star Wars fan. But I mean, Star Wars to me kind of stands alone. For all the shit that it is now, Star Wars has always kind of just had its own pedestal to stand on. But it has their older movies to thank for that. It's got the Empire Strikes Back, The Last Jedi to thank for that. That's still kind of making it relevant, because Star Wars is in a bad place right now. Minus the Mandalorian.
Return of the Jedi. No.
What happened?
I said Return of the Jedi, not The Last Jedi.
Yeah. Thank you. Return of the Jedi. Empire Strikes Back and all those guys. Monsterverse over DCU. I did not like King of the Monsters. And now the MCU is becoming... MCU is... you'll be shocked to hear... Joey, I'll satisfy you here. Because you'll be shocked to hear this, considering all the MCU DC arguments we've had. But I'm kind of falling out of favor with the MCU right now. I'm not really feeling a lot of what they're doing.
Because it's too much?
It's not even that's too much. I'll take all the MCU, but I don't really care about a lot of these characters right now. You know what I mean? Like, they haven't established some of these incoming characters the way they did, like Iron Man and Captain America. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna go see Shang-Chi, but already going in, it's like, do I really care about Shang-Chi? Like at the overall scheme of things, like, do I really care?
You can say that. Can you say that? But did you care about Star-Lord and any of the Galaxy? I didn't.
That's a good point.
But I mean you got to give it a fair chance. So,
yeah,
I mean,
no, and I'm going to. I'm not saying the movie's going to be bad, but I don't know. I just when you know what it is. I think here's my problem. Since I know they have the X-Men and the Fantastic Four waiting in the wings, I'm kind of just ready for that. Like, all this in-between shit, I don't really give a fuck. You know what it is, Joey? I don't got another 10 years to sit on another phase. You know what I mean? Oh, they're going to do another 10-year phase. I'm going to be 53 years old by the time another 10-year Marvel phase ends. I don't know if I have time for that. I almost died last year. Let's rush it. Let's put a little
10-year phase, but this time you get to add a bunch of TV shows in between that you have to watch too.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. I mean, I thought Loki was probably the best. Although I really liked WandaVision. I didn't like. I wasn't too crazy about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
I didn't think that was good at all.
Yeah, I wasn't too crazy about that. Bad. WandaVision I liked towards the end, but it started a little too slow for my taste. But I think Loki's probably the best one in the group. Even though I'm more of a Scarlet Witch fan. But yeah, man, I like the whole new What If animations. Have you been watching that?
No, I mean, because it doesn't really matter in the end, right? It's not like so. I
saw the first one and I thought it was pretty good, but then it's like,
what if I don't?
I just didn't after that first one. I just didn't have any motivation to watch the next few. It's like, yeah, it's there. I'll get to it eventually.
Right.
It's just it doesn't like right now for me. The MCU is missing that oomph that it used to give me to run to the theater to go see an MCU movie. But I'm still gonna see Shang-Chi because it does look good. But I don't know, man. I mean, Spider-Man, I'll definitely run to see.
Well, yeah, there's your That's what you're looking for right there.
Yeah.
But then again, it's like, are you really seeing it because you like Spider-Man, or people want to see it because they get to see Andrew Garfield again? They get to see all this, Toby Maguire, all this stuff from the past, all this nostalgia. Is that what it is, or is it really?
I'm a Spider-Man fan. So, but I will say this: I had this conversation recently with chat. I don't know if it was last week or the week before, but I was telling them why I still think, and not actor-wise, in terms of the best iteration of Peter Parker, I still think it's the Tobey Maguire. I don't like this Peter Parker.
I agree. Okay.
I don't like this Peter Parker as much, especially now now that I saw the trailer, it confirmed my biggest concern about this Peter Parker is that he's too reliant on other characters. You know what I mean? Like Doctor Strange, Iron Man.
Doctor
Strange. Yeah. And it's like the first time with Iron Man, I was like, okay, no problem, fine. Because Iron Man introduced him, so maybe there's a connection there, fine. But now Iron Man's dead. It's the third movie. Can we have this dude do this shit on his own for once?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because he had the other one, Far From Home. We had to have, what's his name, Nick Fury in there.
Fury, and then Mysterio was like a teacher for him until he turned bad, until he found out he was bad. Mm-hmm. So it's like he's never had a movie. This Peter Parker hasn't had a movie yet where from beginning to end he is the hero. You know what I mean? Like he is the one. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I like Tom Holland. I think he does a good job as Peter Parker. I just think this version of Peter Parker, the character, is not nearly as good as Toby, and even to some extent Andrew Garfield. You know what I mean? So MCU Spider-Man is supposed to be an experience. Yeah, but you know what? That's a poor excuse. You know why? Because Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man 1 was inexperienced. Who helped him?
It was Andrew Garfield.
Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man 2 was a little bit more experienced, but then questioning and doubting himself. Who did he have to go to? You know what I mean? He didn't have to go to Iron Man or Doctor Strange. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He had to figure it out for himself with the guidance of his aunt, which is natural. That's how it's always been for Peter Parker. He's always had Aunt May to lean on. Mm-hmm. This one, he doesn't lean on Aunt May. Aunt May is just there. You know what I mean? Like she's never. Yeah. Which movie was there? Was there a scene yet with this Peter Parker with him and Aunt May where she's giving him a heartfelt pep talk? I don't think it has happened.
No.
So why, if you're gonna do this to Aunt May, I know she's hot, and maybe that's why everybody doesn't realize he is. Like, oh, she's hot though. You know what I mean? Like, she hot though.
Oh yeah, she is. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But if you really think about it, Peter Parker has not leaned on Aunt May once since he's been in this MCU, and why have Marissa Tomei? For as hot as she is, she's actually a very good actress. Right. I think it would be a very good scene if Aunt May and Tom Holland's Peter Parker had a heart-to-heart discussion. You know, I mean,
the closest they had to that was in the first one, and it was Homecoming. But of course, in the middle of that was Tony Stark. So,
yeah. So it's like, I mean, there's just little things that really make a difference. In movies like Spider-Man, you know what I mean? Like, It's great when he's fighting and he's web slinging and all this and he's shit talking, but it's those small moments with interactions with characters like Aunt May, with Ben before he died, even with Mary Jane to some extent, that make him the character that he is. Not him sitting on a pedestal, whining and crying, looking at a Tony Stark's painting.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, what are we doing here? You know.
I think he had a heart-to-heart with the Happy Hogan guy character, or John Favreau. So
yeah,
he had that. But
that
a nanotech suit, advanced mini Iron Man suit,
and that's the other thing too. There's still shades of Tony.
I don't like it. Yeah.
There's still shades of Tony Stark. Like, why can't we just get him to develop his own badass Spider-Man suit without relying on technology? You know what I mean? On Stark technology, I should say.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like that.
It's still, and again, it doesn't mean that I don't like Tom Holland or I don't like the Spider-Man. I like it. I just don't think it hits the level of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man and even the Amazing Spider-Man. You can cut him. Say what you want about Amazing Spider-Man 2. I get that, and I agree with much of the criticism of that movie. But the characters that came before this version of Peter Parker, I just think they were better Peter Parkers. And maybe that's why they're bringing them back. Maybe they know that. I mean, it's still going to make money. People are still going to root and cheer, and I'm going to root and cheer for Spider-Man. But if when I say Toby is a better Spider-Man, it's not because I'm just being nostalgic. There are just better character developments in his Spider-Man than there is. A better
story with them.
It's a better story. Yeah, it's a better story. So, the over here, Joey salivating. He's like, oh, my God, Rob's criticizing MCU. I knew that they would come. Uh-oh. Internet connections unstable. Is that me or you? It has to be you. It's always you. I absolutely hate all the digital tech Spider-Man has in the MCU. Andrew Garfield built all of his gadgets and suits himself. Yeah. I mean, you could say, oh, well, Spider-Man built his suit in Spider-Man Far From Home. Yeah, he built it with Stark technology in about 5 minutes on the back of a jet while flying to London.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what I mean? Like, okay. How long did it take Toby Spider-Man to make a Spider-Man suit? It took him a couple of weeks. Hard work. Going to the hardware shop and getting, a fabric at the fabric store, So, I kind of prefer The Amazing Spider-Man 2 over The Amazing Spider-Man. The first one is just kind of boring, at least. I can laugh at how bad The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is, yeah. Maybe Tom Spider-Man will learn to be independent through Toby and Andrew. Yeah, just like he's learned how to do things with everybody else. That's my point, is that he hasn't learned on his own. You know what I mean?
He always had to make the choice on his own.
Exactly. He's always had some sort of mentor, which I just think, and I understand. Look, and to some extent, I understand why Marvel and Kevin Feige are doing that. Spider-Man is the kind of character that after Cap is gone and Tony's gone, should be leading the Avengers, but they really can't rely on this Spider-Man to do that because you don't know when Sony's going to pull the rug. You know what I mean? So you can't have him lead the Avengers this time around, and that's a detriment to Marvel because who's going to lead the Avengers right now? It ain't going to be Shang-Chi, right? It ain't going to be. It should have been.
Why not the new Captain America? Why not? There's plenty of other people that can do it. But why does it have to be Spider-Man?
Well, he's the bigger name.
Because then you're gonna say, okay, well, now he's a bigger name, but now we still have Captain America. He's still Captain America. He's new. He looks different, but so now because he's, who he is.
It's not because he's black, Joey. It's not because he's black. It's because he don't got super. It's not. No, it's because he's not a super soldier. He ain't gonna be able to, Captain America in and of himself had a hard time at times leading the Avengers because he doesn't have the level of power that some of them have. I mean, thank God he was able to lift that hammer. Otherwise, Thanos would have killed his ass. Okay? Mm-hmm. He should have killed him in the first movie when he punched him. And that's coming from a hardcore Cap fan. I mean, I got a shield back there. Hello. But now you got a Cap that's not even a super soldier. I mean, if a super-powered villain even blows wind in his direction, he's dead. Mm-hmm. So,
it depends. I mean, I don't know if you saw Black Widow, but she's just a regular person, and she sure survived a lot of shit.
Yeah, I didn't like that movie.
That movie was not good. No,
I did not like that movie.
Was not good. No.
And that was very disappointing for me. Black Widow for me was like Wonder Woman 84 for DCU. I was so disappointed because I was looking forward to that. But all right, so you can't. I would have personally picked Black Panther to lead them, but he's dead now. Chadwick Boseman's dead. Yeah. So it's like I don't mean to sound it so callously. My bad. But and I mean I'm thinking to myself, why can't they just retcon that and make it what's his face, Warmonger? Make him the new Black Panther, and boom, you're good to go. But they're gonna have his sister, which is fine. That's happened in the comic books before. I'm not gonna go on this whole political bullshit like, oh, woman, no. But she's not gonna lead the Avengers. She doesn't have the experience to lead a whole team. You're definitely not going to take
Star-Lord.
Star-Lord? He's out on a mission to find Gamora, and Thor's with him, so they're going to be out in the galaxy for a while. You're not going to use Captain Marvel as the fucking leader. Who do you have? You're not gonna
comes and goes when she pleases.
Yeah, you're not gonna have Shang-Chi. Who do they have? Who do they have to lead the Avengers right now? They got nobody.
No, you're right. Yeah, there's nobody.
There's nobody to lead the Avengers, and I think that's one of my problems. Is like, you took away. You know what's gonna end up happening? They're gonna bring the original Captain America back. I bet you any amount of money. When some of these movies start to kind of wane a little bit, and people are like, but it's not like.
Well, they're already going to bring Robert back, so.
Well, but they're bringing him back for like what? Like he's going to be like an AI or some shit, right?
Yeah, but still, I mean, why can't you let these characters just die and leave them be and move on?
Yeah, but it's AI, Doctor Strange, I don't know, man. Doctor Strange doesn't strike me as a leader. You know what I mean? He strikes me as like look, when you go from a leader like Cap to Doctor Strange, come on, Cap inspired these motherfuckers. That's what made Cap valuable. Everybody knew he wasn't the most powerful person on the team. In fact, he was the least powerful. But what Cap had was leadership skill that kept these crazy motherfuckers' head in check and working together. There's nobody on the Avengers like that right now. There's nobody in this squad that we've seen like that right now. And I didn't even get into the Eternals yet. I don't even know what to say about them. Like, I love the cast. Looks like a bunch of great actors. And yeah, the movie looks like, regular Marvel movie, a lot of action, great special effects. But what are they going to be? What is their role? How important are they going to be? And why? And I know they're going to explain why they didn't show up for the whole Thanos thing, but
they were told not to.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I still love Marvel, but I'm not very optimistic about the future until the X-Men and the Fantastic Four show up. That's what I got to say right there. That's just my opinion.
They even have a date for the X-Men. I know that they have kind of a date for the Fantastic Four.
The date for the X-Men should be yesterday. You know why? Because the X-Men as a team with a good Professor X can be like an offshoot of the Avengers that kind of lead the way. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna. And
Where's
I'm not,
Deadpool at though? Were you gonna have Ryan Reynolds though?
Have him lead the Avengers?
Deadpool. Well, I mean, why not? But where is he gonna be able to fit in?
I think you know what I think they're gonna do.
Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds style.
I think. Well, they're gonna. They said the next Deadpool movie will be rated R, but I think when they bring him into the Avengers universe, if they do, they're just going to water him down. That he won't be able to curse. And he'll, you know what they'll do to do it, and it'll be smart. They'll just fourth wall break it. He'll be like, "Oh, I'm with the Avengers now, so I better, Disney, so I better not curse now." They're gonna do that. That I'm telling you right now, that's what they're gonna do.
I know that. But I mean, I understand that's what that's Deadpool's thing. But that's really gonna just take it. I don't know. That's gonna be weird. 'Cause I know that's his thing, but to do that when you're with like in another Marvel movie, I don't know.
I think they're going to make a Marvel rated R division, and I think that's where you're going to see characters like Blade should be there, but Blade's already going to be PG-13. But I think you might see some of the Defenders come back, and they'll be in the R division. I think a character like Ghost Rider will be in the R division. Hold on here.
You bringing Nicolas Cage back?
I would.
The Fenris Wolf tipped $5. My friend brought this up, and I agree with him. He theorizes the Eternals will have a Suicide Squad effect. What he means is, most of them or all of them are going to die saving the world. I agree with him, can see it happening.
So Fenris Wolf tipped $5. Thank you for that, Wolf. My friend brought this up, and I agree with him. He theorizes the Eternals will have a Suicide Squad type effect. What he means is that most or all of them are going to die saving the world. I agree with him, and I can see that happening. I mean, maybe, but how many threats is this fucking world going to go through?
Yeah, if they're going to be saving the world, now they're there. Like, well, where would the other Avengers be if that's happening?
Yeah, I know.
So there's two sides. You can say where they've been this whole time, but when their movie comes, right? Can't you say, okay, well, where are the Avengers at?
Yeah. I know somebody just said in chat, that X-Men is their final card. Yeah, but I don't think they can wait that long, man. They can't wait another 4 years. They need to get on the ball with that because the shit they got coming out right now, and I know a lot of people saying Shang-Chi is really good, and I might love it just as much as you guys. But overall, what we got going on right now is very underwhelming for me in the MCU. I just don't, yes, Loki. I like the Loki show, but Loki is a phase a Phase 1 through 4 character. He's not a Phase 5 character, so they're still harping on that. Scarlet Witch is a first set of phases character, who I'm looking forward to seeing her. She's one of the brighter spots for me because I'm a big Scarlet Witch fan. Doctor Strange, I think, will have his consistency. I don't know what the hell's going to happen with the next Black Panther movie. I don't know how that's going to, how people are going to take that. Chadwick Boseman was great as Black Panther. And, I think they would have been better off retconning that with Killmonger becoming the new Black Panther as opposed to his sister, even if it happened in the comics. Captain Marvel, I mean, for all the money she made in her movie, a lot of people don't like that character. Rightfully so, because she's not the original Miss Marvel from the 70s. She's the recent Captain Marvel from the recent comics, which is just shit. There's no comic reader that likes this version of Captain Marvel. Everyone loves the Miss Marvel version of the character, and I'm one of those as well. And she actually looked like a woman, and she was voluptuous, and she was powerful, and she was an awesome character. So man, I don't know, man. I think this is a good chance for DCEU to take advantage, but I don't know if they can. I'm not going. I love the Flash. I gotta say though, I don't know if that movie's gonna do it. And of course we got Batman coming out again. When are we gonna see Superman again? That's my biggest question. Wonder Woman sequel was shit, so I'm not too optimistic. Aquaman and Shazam 2 are two movies I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, Black Adam coming out.
Black Adam, they casted Dwayne The Rock Johnson for a reason, because nobody know who the fuck Black Adam is, and I don't even know who he is. So, I mean, I know he's a Shazam character, but I know nothing else other than that. So, I think we might be facing the Western effect for comic book movies. Remember Westerns were a big deal back in the day, and after like 20 years of crazy Westerns, they kind of just fell off. Nobody wanted them anymore. If one of these two studios do not do something, in my opinion, that's a banger.
It's easier. Spielberg. He said that. That's back then we had our Westerns, and now this phase it's all comics. But I mean, when that's all you have that's coming out, especially now where it's you don't have to really go to the movies anymore. You have all these. You can stay at home and watch it too. So I think that's changed a lot of plans for the future.
Yeah, what do you think about the new Batman coming? Like, what do you think about that with Robert Pattinson? I think Robert Pattinson's a good actor.
Well, I think he's a really good actor.
But do you think that's going to do good? Do you think? I mean, I don't know, man. I personally have Batman fatigue. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I know that he's a sure shot for them. The trailer looked pretty good. What do you think, though? What do you think? Do you think that movie's going to be a home run?
I think so, just because of who's directing it, who's playing Batman, and the cast that's in it. Robert Pattinson's really good. Matt Reeves has done a really good job with a lot of his movies, and I think it's just even though it is Batman, there is a lot of Batman fatigue. You can solve that by doing something new with that. That's something you haven't done before, and I know this is more what people are saying. It's more of a horror movie style of a film, so I think that's a little bit different. If you can change, because most movies are always the same anyway, so just you got to put your spin on it. And so when you have a character like Batman, who's we have Bale, Affleck, and now we have Patterson, I think if you do something different with it, people will like that. So I think you have a little bit of horror in here, more of a of that detective side of Batman. I think it's something that we really haven't seen.
Yeah, that has been lacking. Because for all the goodness that the Nolan trilogy was, he was a bad detective. That version of Batman was so bad as a detective. Yeah. What about now? Who's supposed to be the main villain in that? It's supposed to be Riddler, right? Is it Riddler?
Don't know.
Nobody knows yet.
It could be.
What about you, chat? Anybody in chat know who the main villain's supposed to be in that new Batman movie? Let's give chat a chance to answer. There's a big delay because my settings are all reset. So, yeah, man. So
do you count Joker as part of the, that's, I think that movie was awesome.
Oh no, Joker was great, but I don't really count that as a DCEU. That's an offshoot. Mm-hmm. But no, Joker was really good. I thought it was. I don't think they should make a sequel. I'll be honest with you. I don't think they should. I don't know why. And I get it. Oh, Riddler and Penguin. Okay. Riddler and Penguin. Okay. All right. Oh, that'd be nice though, at least, because I would have liked to have seen Nolan do the Riddler, and he never did. The only time we've seen the Riddler was Batman Forever. So the Riddler should be good. Yeah, that's all right. I'll say that. At least if I go in there, I'll see a fresh villain, because it's always, as much as I love the Joker, and they've all done great. Joaquin Phoenix has done great. Heath Ledger's done great. Jack Nicholson did great. We need to give the Joker a little bit of a break. I think
I didn't hear you. You didn't mention Jared.
Oh, Jared Leto. Oh wait, that deserves a Citas. Jared Leto. Oh, he said Jared Leto. That's good. Do you really like Jared Leto? Or are you just being funny?
I just don't. I think there was potential, but I think it's that ship has sailed. He never really had a chance with him. I think he's good for what he does, but I just think that that ship has sailed.
I think
there was potential with him.
I think the nail in the coffin for me was that end credit scene in Snyder Cut. Once I saw that, I'm like, okay, it's a good thing we didn't get too oversaturated with Jared Leto as the Joker, because I remember, no. And I like Jared Leto. I think he's a good actor. I just don't think that was a character for him.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't right. I'm gonna move on from him.
We're overdue for another Riddler since we got so much Joker. Yeah, I mean, there's still a lot. He has so many so many villains. I mean, I like the way Nolan did his villains. He wove them into the trilogy so seamlessly. Like how we got Two-Face out of nowhere, that happened so seamless. That was so well done. I think that's another reason why that movie's so good. You got a second villain, but it happened so organically. It wasn't like he just came out of nowhere. You know what I mean? It just happened so organically. That's what makes that movie so good.
Aunt May tipped $5.
Oh, May.
Imagine you're a spider. You crawl up a wall. You spin a web. You catch a little fly. Bam. A goblin throws a pumpkin bomb and explodes with your body parts in little bloody pieces. Now, I ask you, would you give a fuck about Tony while being beaten to death?
Aunt May tipped $5. Imagine you're a spider. You crawl up a wall, you spin a web, you catch a little fly. Bam! A goblin throws a pumpkin bomb and explodes with your body parts in little bloody pieces. Now, I ask you, would you give a fuck about Tony while being beaten to death? Well, you wouldn't be being beaten to death if you're blown up into little bitty pieces, so that answers your question. So, I don't know what the fuck that was supposed to mean. What was it? Good point. What did Paleo say? Let me roll. From my source, which is Mr. H Reviews, that's a Michael Gonzalez. Oh my God, you guys. The Joker only needs 5 minutes to make an impact. Leto sucks. Yeah, the DCEU should have started with Batman's rogue gallery, since they are the most grounded, and they could have slowly built up to the other more powerful characters. Kind of like what the MCU did. Yeah. But the problem is that they decided to start it off with Man of Steel. What they should have done was a Man of Steel sequel, and they should have done a standalone Batman movie where both of them can link to each other. Like, maybe there's a villain they're chasing that crosses over into Metropolis or vice versa into Gotham, and then that's how they go into conflict, and then you get the Batman versus Superman. And you know what I mean? Like, I know people say, oh, they should have, but that's copying MCU. But it's not copying the MCU if you're building your universe with cohesion and you're setting up characters. You know what I mean? That's not copying MCU.
Yeah. I think they should have done the solo Affleck Batman movie and have it end the day that the Battle of Metropolis. That should have been the ending.
Yeah, that would have been good.
Then that would have seemed perfectly a Batman versus Superman.
And it should have been Batman versus Superman, not Batman versus Superman for 2 minutes. Like, Wonder Woman should not have been in there. What I would have done was, instead of showing Wonder Woman like fighting at the end, I would have put Wonder Woman in it, like in the scenes she had with Batman, like with at what's his name's party. I would have kept that to set her up and then have her own movie.
Right. Right.
Oh. Okay, Steve, I got you.
Goji tipped $5. What's up?
What's going on, Acno? Okay, now that you say it, Steve, now I get it. Yes, I get that. I remember that. I love that movie. My cousin Vinny. She was so good in that. That movie, I never get tired of watching that. I've seen it like a million times. Leto just enjoyed saying "reach around" and is why he took the part. Let's be honest. Yeah, that was a weird line. That was a weird line. And then what? Batman said the F word, and everybody thought he was cool. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know, man. We'll have to see what the next couple of years we have to bring from both these studios. But I gotta say, I mean, in terms of thinking X-Men and Fantastic Four, that's my optimism. My concern is how long it takes for them to get there. You know what I mean? And with the DCU, it's like the inconsistency can be so annoying sometimes. Like, right? We just got the Suicide Squad, which is great. So now what's the next few movies? We got the Flash, the Aquaman sequel. There's the other Shazam movie, and then what? Black Adam.
Black Adam.
I feel like there's one
Wonder
more.
Woman 3 eventually.
Yeah. So
Wonder Woman 3, but I don't know when that's coming out.
And then the Batman is not connected to the DCEU, right? Are they? They're not really doing a universe. Didn't they say they're not really doing a connected universe anymore? They're kind of just going to do DC movies.
Things.
Yeah, they're not going to do the universe thing anymore. So, you know, the end credits of Man of Steel should have shown Lex Luthor and Lex Tower watching the aftermath of the Zod fight. Yeah, that would have been a nice little, you know. Yeah, I don't know, man. Did you hear? Was it you that linked me that article with Kevin Feige saying "never say never" when it comes to a crossover?
Yeah, I did. I sent it to you. Yeah.
I thought about that a lot, you know, because I think, especially after the Sony deal, but I think, you know what I think the problem is there? Both sides are not going to want their characters to lose. There would have to be a heavy debate as to who do we want losing and who do we want winning, because you know they're not going to want Batman to lose. But outside of Captain America, there's really nobody in the MCU that Batman could beat. You know, because most of the MCU characters are OP.
Who in the Marvel could stop Superman? I guess you could say Scarlet Witch,
or Doctor Strange.
Okay.
Yep.
Right.
But even with Superman, they're certainly not going to want Batman to lose. So they would have to put him up against Cap, because Cap's the only one he could beat. You know what I mean? And even then, that's not a guarantee. Or if he fought Falcon, I guess he could whoop his ass. You know what I mean? But he's not going to beat. He's not. Maybe, I don't know. Could he beat Bucky? I guess he could beat Bucky. But then you wouldn't put Bucky up against Batman. You're going to want to put one of your top tier heroes. So, like, outside of Captain America, is there anyone in the MCU right now, as it stands, that Batman could beat? He ain't beating Shang-Chi. I haven't even seen the movie yet, and I know that. Huh? Would you say Hawkeye?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you wouldn't put Hawkeye up against Batman. Nobody cares about Hawkeye like that. Let's be real. I mean, I'm a Marvel fan. I don't give a fuck about Hawkeye. And I like Jeremy Renner. But if you're talking about, like, you're not going to put him up against the Hulk. The Hulk would destroy him. I mean, if you were to bring Tony back, I guess you could put him up against Iron Man, but I don't know, man. Iron Man got too much tech for Batman to deal with. Way too much tech.
He wears the suit that he wore against Superman.
Yeah, but that's just that's just a suit of knight armor. You know, it's just a steel suit.
Yeah,
that's not that like
it still helped them.
Oh, but you telling me a big iron suit is gonna beat nanotechnology? Come on now. Come on, hold on. Where's my button here? Where is it? Oh.
Come on, man.
Could Batman beat Spider-Man? Yeah, I guess that's I don't know. I mean, he could. I think he could, but I think the problem there is that Spider-Man is superpowered. So even if he were to beat the shit out of Spider-Man for a while, Spider-Man just can one-shot him. All he has to do is land a haymaker and Batman's done. So yeah, I think in terms of fighting skill, he could beat Spider-Man, but Spider-Man just has to land one kick and Batman's going to get knocked the fuck out. Batman with prep time always wins. Yeah, don't get me started on that prep time bullshit. Batman could make a suit. All right, so by the time he makes that suit, Iron Man would run circles around him. Just give Batman prep time. I know that's always the formula. That's always the argument with prep time. You don't get prep time. Stephen Miller, no, Spider-Man's Spidey sense is too OP for Batman. Yeah, but they don't even really use it in the movies.
Not these ones.
He like even in the first one, like, yeah, that's true. They don't. Like, they used it in the Raimi, but they kind of started using it a lot less as the movies progressed. But I think Peter used it once so far, and that was at the end fight against Mysterio. I think outside of that, I mean, I don't think he's ever used it. Oh no, and then he did
a nano suit to do that for him.
Yeah. Well, he did use it when, who was it? Was it Bucky that threw something at him and he was like, uh-oh, and then he turned around and he caught it. So I think I've seen him use it twice. No way Batman beats Spider-Man.
In Infinity Wars, when his hairs were standing up when the ship was, but that all he had to do is just turn to the right and see a giant.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the hair, but you could argue that could be anything. Maybe he's getting horny or something. Or, he was thinking about Mary Jane and his hair started standing up. That's not necessarily Spider-Man. I mean, that's tingling, but that's not Spider-Sense tingling. That's some Mary J tingling, Oh my God. That's always the starting argument. Batman gets his prep time. Yeah. Nobody in superhero universe gets prep time except Batman. Nobody gets time to prepare. So he had it in Civil War. Yeah, I was just saying he did have it in Civil War for a brief moment. But it's not overly emphasized. Like, I don't know. I'm not saying Batman could be Spider-Man. What I'm saying is that he's a more skilled fighter than Spider-Man. But Spider-Man has superpowers, and in the end, that would be overwhelming. So I think they would have to. I think what would have to happen is they'd have to put him up against Tony. You got to put billionaire up against billionaire, but you'll have to keep Tony where he's at. You're gonna have to upgrade Batman's tech. I think that's what it comes down to, and then let's see what happens. But do you really think Marvel's gonna want Iron Man to lose? I mean,
no one's gonna lose anyways. That it's
gonna
team up anyway
against Darkseid and Thanos.
Yeah, they're gonna. Yeah.
Iron Man and Punisher get prep time.
Goji tipped $5. Hold on. I wonder if chat wants to bring up the stuff that on the Nation Facebook page.
You can keep wondering that, Akno, because I'm pretty sure they don't. Mary Jane or Michelle Jones. Batman could beat the MCU Spider-Man if he doesn't have Spider-Sense, but not Garfield and Maguire. Yeah, I still don't think at the end of it he would beat Spider-Man. Maybe that is a good person to put him up against. Have him beat the shit out of Spider-Man, and then Spider-Man nearly kills him with a punch out of just desperation from getting his ass kicked by a regular human. And then, you know what I mean? But I don't know. And then not to mention Spider-Man's a kid, so he's got way more experience than, Captain America whooped Spider-Man's ass, and Captain America's super soldier, but he's not super powered. And he took it to Spider-Man pretty good in Civil War. So there's no saying that Batman can't do it, I don't know. Who would you put Superman up against? I would probably have to put him up against one of the magicians. But the problem is, if Superman lands a haymaker, it's over. Scarlet Witch would be the best one in the fight because he wouldn't want to hit her. He wouldn't want to hit her. He's got too much morals to hit a woman. So she technically could whoop his ass. And he'd take it because he's like, I'm not hitting a woman, But he could freeze her. He could blow his wind and freeze her. So that's the one thing he could do. He could burn her arm maybe. But if he punches her, she's dead. Let's just be real. All Spider-Man has to do is say Martha. Why did you say that name?
You are one awesome motherfucker.
It's always the writer that gets to choose who wins or not. That's true. Fenris Wolf.
Fenris Wolf.
Oh God! Eat my shit, Akno. No one cares.
Eat my shit, Akno. No one cares.
Oh my God.
Well, what did you really think of? Godzilla won, right? It was pretty clear to me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's no debate there. Yeah. There's no debate there. You gotta be very careful with that though, Joey, because there's some Kong fans in here that still think to this day that Godzilla won 2 out of 3 and that Kong won 1 round, and I have to disagree. I don't think that was a round. I think that was just like a commercial break to other scenes in the movie. So you know what I mean? Yeah. Ant-Man could kill Batman by just shrinking down, go inside Batman, and grow back to normal. But then he can do that to anybody.
When he hasn't done it yet. So, I mean,
and he's not going to. You know why? He's not a killer. So,
yeah.
In these fights, are the fighters going all out from the start? No hesitation? I don't think Superman would. I don't think Superman knows better, you know? He wouldn't. I mean, he didn't do that to Batman. Even
hey, would the Watchmen be part of this?
No, fuck the Watchmen.
No, so no Dr. Manhattan, just to
end everything real quick? None of them. You need the big time hero. We don't got time to put in these, you know what I mean? These little heroes. If you're gonna bring the Watchmen in, you can't bring in Dr. Manhattan. You can bring in the street level characters and have them fight the Defenders. So you could bring in like Night Owl and Rorschach, and then have them go up against like Daredevil and fucking Jessica Jones and shit like that. Yeah. Ant-Man can kill anybody. He could. Thank God he's not a killer. There was no round 3. That's right. There's no round 3. There are 2 rounds, and Godzilla won both. You know, what do you think? Do you think when he said, "I guess round 2 goes to Kong," do you consider that a round 2? Considering how quickly Godzilla got up.
No, I don't consider. It's just continuation. I think if Godzilla wanted to, Godzilla was going to kill him in the ocean if he wanted to, but, you know, the humans had to help him out. You can say if he was, you know, he had the stuff to make him sleepy, Kong or whatever, but Godzilla usually took him out. And then in that one, he outsmarted Godzilla, took him out, but in the end, Godzilla just did what he wanted to him, you know.
Godzilla yoked his ass.
He could have killed him if he wanted to.
Yeah, he could have, and he didn't. Kong is very lucky.
Yeah.
Akno Goji tipped $5.
My Hero Academia season 5 is good, and something sexy happened to me
and my girlfriend.
With me and my girl. Oh, Jesus Christ! You know what, Akno?
Go suck a dick, suck a dick, suck a motherfucking dick, suck a dick, suck a huge or small.
There you go, Akno. We know nothing happened. I thought your girl lived like in California, and you're like in what? What'd you say? Where you at? Ohio? Or some shit? I forget where he said he was. I forget where he said. Dr. Manhattan gonna give everyone cancer. Round 2 was to satisfy the Kong fans, to give him 1 win. Laugh my ass off, yeah? The scene where Godzilla won was, to me, impressive because never before have we ever seen Godzilla's rage portrayed in such savage and that. And you know what's funny about that rage? That rage was a rage of annoyance. Like, he was annoyed that Kong was like in his way to get to Mecha. To think about it, it's kind of fucked up when you think about it. They kind of made Kong like a thorn in his side. Mm-hmm. They didn't really make Kong like a real threat. They just made him like a pain in the ass.
No, because he wasn't. He's not.
He's not.
He's not a threat to Godzilla.
Yep.
That's just the way it is. He's not.
Kong had to play dead to survive the battleship scene. Yeah. He said Chicago, yeah. Man, Chicago's fuck. I would hate to live there right now. That place is fucked. It's like fucking like what they call that? Like fucking Escape from LA type shit.
What would you have changed in Godzilla vs. Kong?
I honestly would have made Kong a bigger threat. I probably would have made Kong a bigger threat, and I would have made the fight between Godzilla, Mechagodzilla last a little bit longer, give Godzilla some offense. And then, I mean, let's be real. For as much as Godzilla kicked Kong's ass, Mechagodzilla wiped the floor with Godzilla. It was like, what the fuck? Mm-hmm. You do realize, I think that, you know why I think they did that? I think they did that because they want their Mechagodzilla to be seen as the ultimate, most powerful Mechagodzilla ever made compared to Toho's. And he is extraordinarily OP. He's just completely overpowered. So it's like, yeah. But I would have liked to have seen a longer fight between Kong, Godzilla, and Mechagodzilla. So, is Mike Gonzalez not in chat tonight? I had a special button made for him. I'm gonna have to wait till next time he comes back. Every time Acno tips, this is what I hear.
True international average of pressure.
Oh man, are you like in your yard?
One awesome motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm in the backyard of my parents. My dad was just coming back from somewhere. So that's why there's a car driving in.
Goji tipped $5. She lives in California.
And what I would
live
have done
in Illinois, and we did
in that
it.
movie,
She was in Astro
well, I would have
form
gone
and I
back
was
to Godzilla
asleep.
vs. King of the Monsters. I wouldn't have done the nuclear fire Godzilla at all. I would have just had him. Someone just keep batting Ghidorah, but then I would have had him. I would have had all three of them team up on Ghidorah, right? And so Ghidorah would just leave. He would just go back into space.
I gotta. This is what Acno just said. Acno said she lives in California. I live in Gunny, Illinois, and we did it. She was in astral form, and I was asleep. I mean, I just need a second. I need a second to process this. I mean, honestly. What are we doing, Acno? What in the fuck are we doing?
Too much.
Do you, Joey?
Sense.
I need your opinion on this. Do you think it's possible for two people to be intimate through astral projection? Astral projection is like a deep meditate. You know what astral projection?
I know what it is. Yeah, I
so
know what that is.
So this guy,
this
guy thinks that he basically can have sex with his girl via astral projection. What are your thoughts on that, Joey? I just need to hear what you think.
No, that's
You
it.
are one
No.
no.
I mean, no. Because you're when you
The Fenris Wolf tipped $5. Acno,
you believe
your
it or not,
post gave us
you're
a
not-
Hold that thought, Joey. Hold that thought.
Anybody else?
Projection. She's definitely a he.
Wait. Acno, your post gave us AIDS, and if she's using astral projection, she's definitely a he.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I can't. So anyway, I'm sorry, Joey. Go ahead. I just wanted to read that.
Yeah. So, I would have had, back in King of the Monsters, I would have had Rodan turn and actually side with Godzilla because he sees that he's more the alpha than Ghidorah is. All three would have teamed up, and Ghidorah would have bounced. And you still could have had the ending scene where they all bow to Godzilla because he's the king. Ghidorah's gone. Then you go over to King of the Monsters or Godzilla versus Kong. You can still do the same thing. And where they still Mecha Godzilla using the other head, but when they first activate him, then it sends a signal up into space, or you can hear the call, so it brings Ghidorah back. So you can still have a Godzilla versus Kong fight. Godzilla wins, and then Ghidorah activates whatever. But I wouldn't do any of the Hollow Earth stuff because I didn't just the downloading the new power.
Joey, it's Stark Tech, okay?
Yeah.
It's Stark Tech.
Stark Tech. So I would have had, Godzilla would have beat Kong just like how he did. And then I would have had Mecha Godzilla come out, and then I would have had Mecha Godzilla whip his ass just like he did and knock him. Before he could deliver the final blow, though, he would run out of power and they wouldn't know what to do, and he would just be sitting there. And that's when Ghidorah would actually come back, and he would recognize that's my other head in there. And he would. That's
my head, fool.
Yeah,
I know him.
That's Kevin. Hey, yo, Kevin.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, that's funny.
So then you could have had Ghidorah and Mechagodzilla, and then you could have brought back, Mothra and Rodan. So you could have had, that final destroy all monsters thing in case it wasn't a success. And if it was a success, you still would have had a possibility to set up a Mecha King Ghidorah at the end with the two of them being defeated.
Okay. All right. That's not bad. That's not too bad. I think what I would have done is I would have ramped up Kong a little bit more. I probably, to set the tone and even kind of trigger like Toho and Monsterverse fans a bit, I would have, early in the movie, I would have had a fight between Kong and Rodan, and I would have had Kong utterly destroy Rodan, like rip his wings and everything. Just to kind of set the tone that Kong is a badass, but they kind of, I don't know, they did kind of shit on him, to be fair.
Yeah. I think Toho would never let that happen. I think you could have done one of the other monsters that they made in King of the Monsters. You could have done that.
Yeah.
Not a Toho property.
Yeah. That's Kevin in the head. Yeah. I heard somewhere that director of Godzilla. I heard somewhere from the director that Godzilla could have beaten Mechagodzilla if he was in full power. Look, man, full power or no power, man, or half power. I mean, Mechagodzilla utterly wiped the floor with him. I mean, I was embarrassed to watch it. I was like, oh shit, maybe I should be a Mechagodzilla fan because my Godzilla is getting his ass handed to him. So according to Joey, we could have Mechagodzilla become Deadpool and starts arguing with himself. Oh, that's funny. Oh my god, that's funny. That's pretty good. Oh man. So what time is it? 11:20. Oh shit! Wow, it's been almost 2 hours already. Damn, that was fast. What is for you? It's only like what 8 something.
It's 8 something. 8. So.
That's
when do you think we're gonna get our next Monsterverse announcement?
Shit. My initial guess was Comic-Con, and Comic-Con went like a fart in the wind. You didn't hear shit from Comic-Con, not even for other movies. Maybe the end of the year.
Yeah.
That same convention in Brazil, probably there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as a Kong, that was hard for me to see Godzilla getting tortured by Mechagodzilla. The director confirmed that Godzilla possibly would have won Mecha G at full power. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, Godzilla blew his atomic breath, and Mechagodzilla stopped it, and then on top of that, scarred him with his beam. He was about to give the kiss of death. I mean, it was brutal, man. It was a brutal beating. I'm not 100% sure that Godzilla would have won even at full power.
Newts for Kaiju tipped $5.
Well, if he had the power
maybe
to
you can
make
try
a hole
and
in
use
the
the
earth,
technology
to the center
they
of the
used
earth,
in the
and
Hollow Earth, and
you know,
then
maybe
you
that's where
can
he should have
use it
saved
to
his energy
download
instead
your
of doing that.
girlfriend.
Yeah. Nuts for Kaiju tip 5. Thank you for that. Hey, Acno, maybe you can try and use that technology they use in the Hollow Earth, and then you can use it to download your girlfriend.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh man, that's good. That's good. I think studios are phasing out of Comic-Con with COVID being the excuse. I don't think so. They don't really announce stuff at CCXP Brazil, just show off stuff. They're really... Well, I don't know. If they're going to announce anything, I don't know anywhere. I mean, I guess New York Comic-Con, but... Well, because New York Comic-Con is going to be live. They're not going to be... online this year. Yeah, they're going to be. Okay. They're going to be online. Well, I mean, they're going to be live. So maybe that'd be the place to do it. Mm-hmm. Joey, that's too sophisticated. That Legendary would have done it. I guess you was talking about what you were talking about before, the way you were breaking down how you would have done it. They would have been even at full power. Man, we don't know that. Mechagodzilla was running circles around him. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not 100% convinced Godzilla would have just won if he was at full power. All right, maybe put up a better fight, but I don't know. He seemed okay to me. He was running right at his ass like, yeah, I'm good to go. Yeah. Let's do this. You know what I mean? So, you know, I think we may hear that Toho and Legendary renew their contract at Toho's Godzilla Festival. Maybe. Here's a better story for Godzilla vs. Kong. Titans are converging on Skull Island. So is Godzilla, because Titans, like Kamazots, are coming up to the surface, and Kong attacks the Titans that bow to Godzilla. I don't know.
Yeah.
No Goji tipped $5. I got a night vision camera.
You have a night vision camera coming with a mic tomorrow?
With their own,
Acno said he's got a night vision camera with a mic coming tomorrow. So, like, what are we supposed to do? Like, clap or okay? I got something good for you. I didn't get to put this on the panel yet, but I will play it now just to let you know how how maybe. Let me see where I can find it here. Where are you? Where is it? So here we go, Acno. This is a good representation of probably how chat feels right now. So with that, So there you go. All right, I didn't get to put that on the button yet, so I didn't. I ran out of time, so sorry about that. Oh man.
Did you like Singular Point?
No, I didn't. I did not like it at all.
Really?
It took what is it showing on my screen? What are we doing here? All right. It took too long to get to Godzilla, and for me to say that means they really took too long, because I'm pretty patient when it comes to a Godzilla reveal, because some of his best reveals are the ones that come later. I mean, this was what, a 12-episode show, and he shows up in episode 10. And I know people are going to be like, oh, but when he was in the water and when he was in the city, I'm like,
yeah, but he didn't. I didn't even know he was Godzilla. That was Godzilla, and so he actually took the more
final form. Yeah. Well, I don't count it, and so he's actually Godzilla. It doesn't count to me. The story was.
So what about Shin Godzilla then?
Well, I didn't like Shin Godzilla, but the Godzilla for me wasn't really the issue. Godzilla even wasn't really the issue in this show. It was really the story. The story was just way too like. They just made it overly complex. You know what I mean? With all the physics and all the science shit. And it's like, I don't want to have to fucking read a physics book to even have a remote understanding of what they're trying to explain. You know what I mean? And then you have people out there like, well, I understood it. No, you fucking didn't. All right? It's okay. Just say you liked it because Godzilla. You know, it's okay. We know there are people out there that like it because Godzilla, no other reason. And that's fine. But don't try and convince me that you understood what these people were fucking talking about. To come to find out, I don't know if you know this, it turns out that one of the writers for the show was a physicist. So that explains all that. It makes a lot of sense now. So, you know, it's just too much. Can't be classical.
I agree, but when they actually did show Godzilla, I thought when he showed up, it was really, really good. Like they know how to do Godzilla.
Awesome
like when he shows up, everything leading up to it and around it, maybe that's kind of iffy. But when they put Godzilla on display, they did a really good job.
Prove that
I like the music they had when he showed up. A little bit of it was.
Oh yeah, the music was great, and I got to be honest, I do like the fact that Jet Jaguar played a big role. I mean, everybody's been clamoring for Jet Jaguar for a long time, and he finally got a good. In fact, you could argue that it's just as much Jet Jaguar show as it is Godzilla's. Really,
we'll see more of him. He was the guy.
Hold on a minute, Acno, you got yourself a night vision camera with a mic so that you can prove she's real. So basically, what you're saying, Acno, is you're gonna ghost hunt your own girlfriend. All right, hold on. I mean, really? What the fuck? What is this? Acno's, you know what it is? Acno's going to ghost hunt his own girlfriend and then send it to Nuke's Top 5. That's what he wants to do. Which franchise did Rob say was more successful? I said that I thought the Monsterverse was more of a success than DCEU. For those of you who are late. But I thought I gave a pretty fair argument as to why. It's not like I just said, it's better. I never said it was necessarily better. I just felt that, like I said, the Monsterverse exceeded expectations where the DCEU has failed to meet its expectations. Acno's about to be ghosted for real. Oh my god. No, we didn't, Acno. Yeah. Yo, I meant to ask you, how is it out there? Because I know you guys get it. Are you near all those like crazy fires that are going on out there? Or are you pretty far from that?
Hello? Can't hear you.
Oh, I had asked you, are you near a lot of the fires that are happening out there, or are you pretty far from it?
No, I'm pretty far from them. We get fires all the time. But I'm not really near them too much. Mostly up north and towards like the desert area or different areas. Well, I really worry about earthquakes, but they don't. Whenever it happens, they're not gonna do about that.
Yeah.
If it does happen, the big one.
$5. Well, that and demons that follow me.
So, Acno, you want to... So you got a night vision camera to ghost hunt your girl, which you just acknowledged because you said, well, that, and also to record demons that follow you? Go a little bit more classic on this one. I don't know what the hell this guy's thinking. I don't know what
We have
this kid.
NFL predictions starts next week.
Who the Titans got? Who they playing?
I'll play in Arizona.
Oh, that's gonna be a good game. That's gonna be a pretty good game, actually. That's hard to call. I mean, Tennessee, I think, should win. You know,
Yeah, it's in Tennessee.
It's in Tennessee. Well, they should win.
Yeah.
Then. But Arizona is going to be a tough because that quarterback's really good. He's got some good receivers. I don't know how much their defense has improved in the offseason, but then again, I don't know too many defenses that can stop Derrick Henry. So, you know, and if
I'm talking about Super Bowl predictions.
Tampa and Kansas City again. That's what I predicted last year, and that's what I'll predict this year again. My heart wants, I think the Kansas City will come back and win this one. They'll be better prepared. So, but my heart says Miami's going to the Super Bowl.
Miami?
Yeah.
Why?
Why? Because they're a solid young team with a good defense. If Tua can prove the naysayers wrong, and I don't even know why he has naysayers. I mean, last year was his first time playing, and overall he did not do bad at all. But for some reason, people just keep shitting on him. And I think it's because he doesn't come off as dynamic as some of the other younger ones, like when Deshaun Watson first came around and Patrick Mahomes and the other guy from Baltimore. But his passing was good. I just don't think he was that aggressive, but it was essentially a rookie. So, but man, I like the way the Dolphins look, man. They look young and hungry, and they got a great coach.
Yeah, I like them.
But realistically, will they go? No, of course not. They're a couple of years away from being a serious contender. But I'm just happy that they're heading in the right path finally.
Well, what if they do get Deshaun Watson? I would say they have a better chance.
Well, yeah. I mean, Deshaun Watson is proven already. What would piss me off is if they get. I mean, I don't think they're going to trade for him. I think that rumor is kind of done now because they don't have the assets like they did before. Like, if they had traded with Houston before the draft, they would have had like 3 first-round picks to give them. But they used them, and they only have 1 now for next year, or 2 rather, their own and 1 other one from a trade. So they don't really have the assets to land them. But had they gotten Deshaun Watson, what would have pissed me off if Tua went to another team and became like a fucking crazy brolic quarterback, throwing for like 5,000 yards and 40 touchdowns. And I would have been like, oh, man. Because he is younger. I mean, Deshaun's been around for at least 5 years now. So I hope I don't go too
Awesome motherfucker.
What was that?
You don't even know if Deshaun's going to play anyways.
He's got a lot of problems right now. The Fenris Wolf. Acno, why your mom didn't swallow you when she had the chance?
Your mom didn't swallow
we'll never
you
know.
When she had the chance. We'll never know.
That's pretty brutal. That's pretty brutal. Oof, man. That is... Oof.
I love kids jumping on my lap.
All right, man. Well, listen, Joey, I'm gonna wrap it up here. But man, I'm glad you came through, dude. We need to do this definitely more often.
Me,
yeah. So you do the regular Monday through Friday kind of work?
Yeah.
So you're pretty much like, if I wanted you to come through on a Saturday, if you don't have any plans, Saturday's probably better.
Yeah, Saturdays are good. Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna get you in here a lot sooner than waiting another like 10 months. So you know what I'm saying? But hey guys, let's give a virtual clap in chat to Joey. He came prepared. He came with great analysis, good humor, always fun.
Tipped $5.
As always.
The Dolphins, seriously, they suck, and I have 3 demons follow me, and now it's only 1.
Listen to this bullshit, Joey. Before you go, Acno, the Dolphins, seriously, they suck, and I have 3 demons follow me, and now it's only 1. Yeah, but they don't suck. they don't suck nearly as bad as your astral projected girlfriend. She needs more work on her BJs. Anyway, all right, Joey. So, yeah, man, we'll get up soon. We'll talk some more. We'll see. Did you go see Shang-Chi already?
I don't know. I'll probably wait till it becomes free.
All right. I was gonna say if you did, maybe we can review that next together or something. But you know what? I didn't run to the theaters to see it either. We'll see if I decide to go see it or wait. But all right, man. So I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for coming through, man.
Thank you for inviting me.
All right, bro. Have a good night.
Good night, man. Later.
All right. Joey Guzman, ladies and gentlemen. That was fun. Haven't hung out with Joey in a while. That was good stuff. What in the hell is going on with Acno, man? What is this shit? Acno, you're I don't know, man. You literally just admitted that you got a night vision goggle and camera, or night vision and a camera, so you could record your girl astral projecting. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know how do you respond to that? I don't know. Only Acno with this crazy shit. All right, we're gonna wrap it up here. We'll be back tomorrow early. I'll be doing an early stream tomorrow in the afternoon. Yeah. Definitely gonna do an early stream tomorrow. So I'll be on probably 3-ish, 4-ish around there. Hang out for a little while. Probably do a little bit longer. Maybe I'll do some gameplay in the beginning before we get into topic of conversations regarding entertainment. It would be interesting to talk about Shang-Chi tomorrow. If I can catch him, maybe I'll take a look, see if there's a matinee I can catch before the stream starts. Maybe I'll check it out and we can talk about it. But, that's might be tough. It's a holiday tomorrow. Everybody's going to be home. So, and I know out here, North Carolina, everybody goes out. This is not a lockdown town. So, movies are usually busy on a holiday.
Goji tipped $5. Hey, you said wanted me to do that.
Who said they wanted you to do that? What the fuck are you talking about? I didn't tell you to go out and get a night vision camera and film your astral projected girlfriend. Nobody said that. What? Who said that? Did somebody in the chat say that? Because I know I didn't. I got no interest in whatever you and your astral projected girlfriend do. Like, why would you want to film that anyway? You know what I mean? Like, why would you want to film that? Even if by some miracle it was true that you and your girlfriend were pulling that off, nobody here wants to see that shit. What? I don't know about this kid, man. Chat, we gotta help Acno. I think it's best you just maybe not bring up your girlfriend anymore. Nobody believes you anyway. You know what they really think when you talk about when you talk about your girl? This is what they hear.
True international effort to pressure.
That's what they hear. Gibberish. Fuck. All right, we're gonna go with a normal ending. Oh no, I can't. I'll use my BRB as a stand-in because if I hit end stream, it's gonna rock the other music. I want it to be a little mellow today, so. All right, listen, guys. Wait, do I have the Lenny one? No, I can't even use that one. What the hell? It's all good. I just hope nobody comes late to the stream and sees BRB and thinks I'm coming back. That would suck. All right, you guys have a good night. By the way, for those wondering, the reason the stream started late is I went out to dinner with my parents and my family. We had a great time. I had a big steak. It and we were chilling. But you guys have a good rest of the night, and I will see you guys tomorrow.